Marion Fellows.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to make my first speech in the House. Firstly, I want to thank all of the staff here for their invaluable help. Without them, I literally wouldn't be here. I have been never before guided so gently to where I should be, or given so much advice, and encouraged all the time to drink water and keep me on the right road. I am truly grateful. However, my main thanks today here must be to my campaign team, led ably and wonderfully by my husband and my agent. And we're still happily married, an achievement in itself. I was supported by a wondrous team full of talent and ability and of every age and faith. A real mixed and maxter, as we say, who made the campaign fun and who looked over me like angels. I know that there are some honourable members in this House who have spent their whole adult life in preparation for being here. I haven't. I've lived a full and rather enjoyable life. In fact, I want to go on doing that. But I am, or have been, a wife, a mother, a granny, a teacher, a local councillor, a trade union official, an auditor, a bookkeeper, a housewife, a student in the swinging 60s, the chairman of the PTA, and a secretary of my local community council. Each of these jobs and responsibilities has taught me a little bit about myself and a wee bit about the world around us. I know how to knit a jumper, although it has been suggested that as a deputy whip, I should perhaps consider knitting some other suitable accessories for the job. I can persuade a lazy 16-year-old to turn up to class on time, negotiate a fair pay deal for my colleagues, and I know how to balance a set of books. A declining skill around here, I believe. I know that some of my colleagues' youthfulness has attracted a bit of attention here in the chamber and beyond. I hope to complement their great strengths by bringing my experience and skills to bear on our work. Too often, I hear that those of us with more life experience are overlooked. Madam Deputy Speaker, I promise to make my experience count and to stand up in this place for the grannies, granddads, retired and never going to retire, worldly wise men and women across the country. We have a lot to offer our communities and this place. But 4 years after I retired for the first time, the people of my own community gave me an opportunity to use my skills and experience here as their first female non-Labour MP. That's what I fully intend to do. I was voted here in record numbers with a 38% swing and a majority of 11,898 as a declaration by the people of Motherwell and Wishaw that they wanted change, not the austerity policies ideologically driven towards deficit reduction, which relegate the dignity of human beings behind the priority of the balance sheet. They want an end to the persecution of those least able to care for themselves and their families through misfortune and disability. I want to remind the honourable Labour members who shouted at me on my first day in this chamber, "Why are you here? You don't even want to be here." I want to remind people of my response to them and to this House. I'm here because I was democratically elected. And no, some sort of strange virus hasn't gripped the people of Scotland. They voted for change and for a stronger voice for Scotland. And to the benches opposite, I say, I was elected to be a full member of this House. I am charged with the hopes and aspirations of the people of my constituency who want better from this place. I am very proud to come from the area which elected the first ever Scottish National Party MP, Dr. Robert McIntyre. He was elected in 1945. I also come from a place in Scotland where the majority of people voted yes for independence in Scotland last year. Every single one of the 27,295 votes I received from the people of Motherwell and Wishaw in this election is a reminder to me that I have a great responsibility to all of my constituents, not just those who voted for me. I fully intend to do my best to deliver the change my constituents want to see. I'm very proud of the industrial heritage of my constituency and the roots we have in steel and coal. The announcement earlier today of the threat to 720 jobs in Rotherham will be well felt in my constituency where so many jobs were lost to steel. It was fantastic to see the recent unveiling of the Steelman, an inspirational sculpture by Andy Scott, set as a memorial to those who left to work in heavy industries and did not come home. I also know that this was a subject that was close to the heart of my predecessor, Frank Roy. I know from his kind and gracious words to me on the evening of the general election that he was and is proud of the people of this constituency, as am I. I want to wish him and his family well for the future. I asked my constituents through Facebook what was great about our community. The answers came in thick and fast. There is a real sense of social justice in Motherwell and Wishaw. The people want a fairer and more equal community. One of the reasons my constituency voted so well in the referendum was they are really committed to social justice. The people are the best thing in my constituency, someone said, trying to regenerate from the devastating loss of all the major industries in the area. The children in the local schools are fully engaged politically and are a strong future base. It's about adapting to change, I was told, and having hope. And now we mustn't let them down. I was also told that, and I know that it's the best of both worlds, minutes from Glasgow and minutes from the Clyde Valley. Only an hour from the beach and 45 minutes to our capital in Edinburgh. It's an ideal location. Motherwell was famous for Olympian swimmers. Sir Alexander Gibson, founder of the SNO, the Scottish National Orchestra, was born in Motherwell. You can walk to New Lanark in Glasgow along the Clyde Walkway and take in Baron's-Hoch, the RSPB reserve, and it's a great place for twitchers, of which I don't see many today. It's an area once rich in natural resources that was of interest to the Romans, who built a bathhouse in what is now Strathclyde Country Park. The park was also the site of other aquatic spectacles, last year's hugely popular Commonwealth Games. The triathlon and the rowing competitions took place there. And one of my constituents is Charlie Flynn, the mailman who won a gold in boxing at the Commonwealth Games. We're very articulate. Charlie more than me, it has to be said, in Motherwell and Wishaw. Strathclyde Park also contains Scotland's theme park. Culture, sports and dodgems in one place. The former Ravenscraig steel mill is now the site of a sports hub, the envy of many other places, with a full-sized indoor football pitch and a new town slowly being built on it. Did you know that if you buy a kilt anywhere in the UK, it was probably made in Motherwell by Glen Isla Kilts? Gallant members from this house who served in Scottish regiments would have been dressed by them too, as they made all the kilts, and they still do make all the kilts for the army. They also have worked with Vivian Westwood on cutting-edge designs. DL Works, now owned by Tata Steel, still rolls steel, and there are many, many enterprising businesses throughout. I have to say that I was disappointed not to see Mr. Speaker's own comments on my Facebook page, as I know that he had his own happy month living across the road from where I now live, when he was a candidate in Motherwell and Wishaw in 1987. He was taken in, as I said, by people across the road from where I live now. My constituency has long taken in folk from afar. Irish refugees after the famine, Lithuanians after the First World War, Congolese refugees more recently, and Polish families who all add to our society. When some people talk of the communities in Motherwell and Wishaw, they define us by what we once were, not what we are or we could be in the future. Our job is to look to the future. But I agree with the bard, not Rabbie, but your English bard, Shakespeare I think he's called, who wrote, "What's past is prologue, what to come is yours, in yours and my discharge." However, my community, my constituency and my country have fantastic assets and attributes. The people who live here are the centre of this. I believe that it's not where you're from, but where you're going that matters. Yeah. And our job is to lead the way. But if I could quote my national bard, who, in his epistle to a young friend, cautioned him to ever reck the reed. In English, that means take advice. I would advise the benches opposite to heed. The people of Scotland are holding you to account. They sent 56 representatives here to remind you of that and to hold you to account, to give us what was promised in the vow. We want that. We want that, and we want to be full members of this chamber. Finally, I promise for my time here, I will work hard to realise my constituency's fantastic potential over the next 5 years and to be a hard-working, approachable local MP. And I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Neil Parish.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker, and it's very nice to follow the maiden speech of the Honourable Member from Motherwell and Wishaw, and I wish her all the very best in this Parliament. And I think we all bring sort of different attributes to this Parliament, different experiences, and she was very down to earth in the way she described herself as being a mother, a teacher, a bookkeeper, and all these attributes will be very useful here in Parliament. Also, the fact that she very much wants to represent her constituents, because I think irrespective of what political parties we come from, that's something we really value in this place, and definitely our constituents will hold us to account when it comes to the next election. So I very much welcome you here, and I hope you enjoy your time here. I won't go into the great details on some of the political points you made, because this is your maiden speech, and congratulations. Madam Deputy Speaker, I very much appreciate you giving me the opportunity to speak in this recess debate, and I want to quickly really move into the southwest. And what's interesting, of course, is that we've just had a lady from Scotland speaking, and if you look at the southwest, the borders of Tewkesbury are actually 3 miles closer to the Scottish borders than they are to Land's End, and so you start to see how big the southwest is and how necessary it is for infrastructure to get there. And you know, very often we talk about trains being electrified to Bristol, but they need to be electrified all